It's clear that developing a virtue and ability like compassion, including self-compassion, is an integral part of enhancing and maintaining resilience. In a 2012 article entitled Compassion Fatigue, The High Cost of Caring, the authors cite a study by Syracuse University's School of Education in which they claim self-care may be referred to as resilience, a healthy balance, wellness, or simply mental health. And the authors quote Mark Potter, who's a licensed clinical social worker, who writes, "We must shift self-care from a place of peripheral afterthought to one of central importance in human service work. In our culture, we often look at self-care in terms of recreation, distraction, and pleasure. But through my own devastating experience with secondary trauma and subsequent recovery, I've learned the absolute necessity of self-care." There's a growing body of research that supports meditation practice, for instance, guided, directed meditation on compassion toward oneself and toward others. There are gratitude practices, gratitude journals and listing that can be done. Physical exercise, even brief moments of physical activity, can have positive impacts on our health and overall well-being. And then there's vacating, taking vacations. But at the heart of that term vacation is the term vacate, which is to leave. Sometimes leaving work behind when we're away from the workplace. Even if only briefly and locally, a staycation. Even if only via imagination, even creativity. On election night 2020, I engaged in a common doodle with children's book author and illustrator Mo Willems. After just 20 minutes of guided drawing at the kitchen table, with the author's voice and the playing of professional musicians in the background, I felt refreshed. I'd been active in a flow state, an uninterrupted time of engaged activity. What is your go-to self-care activity? What are your options? Is it listening to a podcast? Playing an instrument? Baking? Talking to friends and loved ones? Reading? Sitting by a fire? Gardening? Bird watching? We can take moments, and moments matter. We can delight in memories. We can engage in hope. These are all activities too, and cultivating them can develop resilience. And so can cultivating a strengths perspective in yourself. Appreciate you. You are here now because of your many blessings and adversities. You wouldn't be the person you are now without them. And suffering can have a transformative power. But it's profoundly important how intensely and for how long and in what context. All the while we can try to control that, to buffer the suffering. And we can seek assistance from others in the bearing of the suffering. And we can assist others when we can too. It's worth repeating the words of the Dalai Lama. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. I wish you all the best.